Hello and welcome to History on the Hoof. Today we're at Ribblehead, beside the modern road between Ingleton and Hawes. The line of the road follows the Roman route from Bainbridge, which was to become part of the Lancaster to Richmond Turnpike Road, completed in 1774. The road cuts through spectacular pieces of scenery between the three peaks, starting with Pennygent, Whernside and Ingleborough. The site we're here to see today sits by the road below the flanks of Ingleborough and Park Fell, beyond the Ribblehead viaduct, and is easily missed behind the wall. If you've watched our earlier video on the Viking settlement at Gorberhigh Pasture, a short walk from here, you will know that the whole hillside is covered with archaeological remains. The area above it is known as Howrake Rocks, which derives from the Old Norse hauga, which is a mound, and hraca, rough grazing land. Antiquarian accounts and the first edition Ordnance Survey map illustrates other tumuli in the immediate area that have been robbed out and taken away a long time ago for walls and road building. The monument we're going to look at today has been well robbed, but fortunately enough survives to tell us a little bit about the past. The site turns up in antiquarian accounts a couple of hundred years ago and is referred to as a Druids temple, which, as well as being romantically evocative, tells us it was a stone circle. Once you start having a look at the monument, you can make out a raised circular bank and several large stones, which would have either stood on top or upright the inside of it. This is exactly how Stone Henge started out, and is what is described too confusingly in my view as an embanked enclosure. These are, however, very rare and date by comparison to other sites to the late Neolithic or to early Bronze Age, or about 4,500 years ago. Originally, the stone circle would have had an internal diameter of about 92 feet, the bank standing around 20 inches high and 8 feet wide, which, with the stones on top, must have made for a very impressive structure. The whole circular feature would have covered a diameter of about 108 feet, with a possible entrance to it in the northeast. Sometime later, a large round cairn or burial mound was built inside the stone circle. It was about 82 feet in diameter and still survives at its highest point to around 6 feet 7, so could have been higher. Unusually, in this limestone area, the outer shell of the cairn was made up of a lot of sandstone pieces, many of which survive in surrounding walls. The cairn itself was surrounded by curbstones, some of which are still in situ. In 1828, the burial mound was excavated, and it is reported that there was recovered a bronze spearhead, a flint arrowhead, and drinking vessels. From the descriptions of the artefacts, all of which have long since disappeared, we can tentatively say we have a Neolithic leaf-shaped arrowhead dating to about 4000 to 3500 BC, a beaker period or early Bronze Age vessel of 2500 BC, and a Middle Bronze Age spearhead dating around 1500 to 1200 BC. At the far side of the monument are three linear banks, running off in a starburst fashion from the original stone circle. It has been proposed that some may be barrow runs or spoil tips from the 19th century excavations, which were done by miners, but there is comparative evidence to suggest that the easternmost bank was built after the stone circle and before the burial mound. If you look carefully, there are also the shadow of another possible smaller burial mound beside it. All in all, the Druids temple offers quite an incredible site, dating back possibly 6,000 years from the building of a late Neolithic embanked enclosure with standing stones, early Bronze Age beaker burials, to a large Bronze Age burial mound put slap in its centre. Ironically, it continued to be used by being robbed for stone in walling and road building in the not too distant past. If you're ever in the area, do go and take a look. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of History on the Hoof and look forward to talking to you again soon. If you've liked it, please subscribe.